Hello everyone, welcome back to the video on my Storytime channel. So I'm going to continue reading the first book of Left Behind series, Left Behind, on page 373. Here's the book, Left Behind, the very first book of the Left Behind series, the very first book of the iconic Left Behind series on page 373. Let's continue. Chapter 20, Part 2. We're going to get some college kids' ideas, but it would be unlikely we would use two people from the same family. Of course, you just told me that you pretty much agree with your father, so I better wait and hear them both at the same time. She had fallen silent and looked serious. I'm sorry, Chloe. I didn't mean to imply that I'm not interested in your theory. I'm sorry, Chloe. I didn't mean to imply I'm not interested in your theory. It's not that, she said, but you just kind of categorized me there. Categorized you? As a college kid. Ooh, I did, didn't I? My fault. I know better. Collegians aren't kids. I don't see you as a kid, although you are a lot younger than I am. Collegians? I haven't heard that term in a while. I am showing my age, aren't I? How old are you, Buck? 30 and a half, going on 31, he said with a twinkle. I say, how old are you? She shouted, as if talking to a deaf old man. Buck roared. I'd buy you another cookie, little girl, but I don't want to spoil your appetite. You better not. My dad loves good food, and he's buying tonight. Save room. I will, Chloe. Can I tell you something without you thinking I'm weird, she said. Too late, she said. She frowned and punched him. I was just going to say that I like the way you say my name. Too late, he said. She frowned and punched him. I was just going to say that I like the way you say my name. I didn't know there wasn't any other way to say it, he said. Oh, there is. Even my friends slip into making it one syllable, like Chloe. Chloe, he repeated. Yeah, she said, like that. 2 syllables, long O, long E. I like your name, he slipped into an old man's husky voice. It's a young person's name. How old are you, kid? 20 and a half, going on 21. Oh my goodness, he said, still in character. I'm starting with the minor. As I headed back toward the PanCon Club, Chloe said, if you promise not to make a big deal out of my youth, I won't make a big deal of your age. As I headed back toward the PanCon Club, Chloe said, if you promise not to make a big deal of my youth, I won't make a big deal of your age. Deal, he said, a smile playing on his lips. You play a lot older. I'll take that as a compliment, she said, smiling self-consciously as if she wasn't sure he was serious. Oh, do, he said. Few people your age are as well-read and articulate as you are. That was definitely a compliment, she said. You catch on quick. Did you really interview Nikolai Carpathia? He nodded. We're almost buddies. No kidding. Well, not really. But we hit it off. Tell me about him. And so Buck did. Hottie returned slightly refreshed, but still puffy-eyed, and sat again as if ready for more punishment. Rayford reiterated that he was sincere about his apology, and she said, let's just put that behind us, shall we? I need to know you forgive me, he said. You seem really hung up on that, Rayford. Would that let you off the hook, ease your conscience? I guess maybe it would, he said. Mostly it would tell me you believe I'm sincere. I believe it, she said. It doesn't make it any more pleasant or easier to take, but if it makes you feel better, I do believe you mean it. And I don't hold grudges, so I guess that's forgiveness. I'll take what I can get, he said, and I want to be very honest with you here. Uh-oh, there's more? Or is this where you educate me about what happened last week? Yeah, this is it. But I need to tell you that Chloe advised against getting into this right now. The same conversation as the other, you mean? Right. Smart girl, she said. We must understand each other. Well, you're not that far apart in age. Wrong thing to say, Rayford. If you were going to use that you're young enough to be my daughter approach, you should have brought it up earlier. Not unless I fathered you when I was 15, Rayford said. Anyway, Chloe's convinced you're not going to be in the mood for this right just now. Why? Does this require some reaction? Do I have to buy into your idea or something? That's my hope, but no. If it's something you can't handle right now, I'll understand. But I think you'll see the urgency of it. Rayford felt much like Bruce Barnes had sounded the day they met. He was full of passion and persuasion, and he felt his prayers for courage and coherence were answered as he spoke. He told Hottie of his history with God, having been raised in a church-going home, and how he and Irene had attended various churches throughout their marriage. He even told her that Irene's preoccupation with end-time events had been one thing that made him consider looking elsewhere for companionship. Rayford could tell by Hottie's look that she knew where this was going, that he had now come to agree with Irene. He had bought the whole package. Hattie sat motionless as he told the story of knowing what he would find at home that morning after they had landed at O'Hare. He told her of calling the church, meeting Bruce's story, the videotape, their studies, The prophecies are from the Bible, the preachers in Israel that clearly parallel the two witnesses spoken of in Revelation. Now, everything in the Bible already happened before 70 AD. That's my personal beliefs in preterism, but that's just my personal beliefs. Anyway, continuing with the story. Rayford told her how he had prayed the prayer with the pastor as the videotape rolled, and how he now felt so responsible for Chloe and wanted to find God too. Hattie stared at him. Nothing in her body language or expression encouraged him, but he kept going. He didn't ask her to pray with him. He simply told her he would no longer apologize for what he believed. You could see at least how if a person truly accepts this he must tell other people. He'll be no friend if he didn't. Hattie wouldn't even give him the satisfaction of a nod to concede that point. After nearly half an hour, he exhausted his new knowledge and he concluded, Hattie, I want you to think about it, consider it, watch the tape, talk to Bruce if you want to. I can't make you believe. All I can do is make you aware of what I've come to accept as the truth. If I care about you and wouldn't want you to ever miss out simply because what I've come to accept as the truth. I care about you and wouldn't want you to miss out simply because no one ever told you. Finally, Hattie sat back and sighed. Well, that's sweet, Rayford. It really is. I appreciate your telling me all that. It hits me real strange and different because I never knew that stuff was in the Bible. My family went to church when I was a kid, mostly on holidays or if we got invited, but I never heard anything like that. I will think about it. I sort of have to. Once you hear something like this, it's hard to put it out of your mind for a while. Is this what you're going to tell Buck Williams at dinner? Word for word, she chuckled. Wonder if any of it will find its way into his magazine. Probably along with space aliens, germ gas, and death rays, Rayford said. Okay, so that's chapter 20 of Left Behind. Take care, everybody. Another video from my Storytime channel.